crazy journey, but I'm grateful. I'm loving who I am becoming. I'm blessed and I'm thriving. I can't complain. I am on a higher frequency. I refuse to let you mess with me. I'm protective of my energy and my time. Don't give it up too easy.
Hey there, everyone. This is Conversations Over Coffee with Robin S. Today's a little different simply because today is my mother's birthday. Today she would have been 87 years old. So today, this video isn't for everyone, but this video is definitely for me. Now, I'm going to move a little differently in this one simply because you may not be able to tell, but I'm dressed for work. So before I clock in, I wanted to make this video. And like I said, it's for my mom, celebrating her birthday, and just reflecting on certain things that she once told me. She's told me several times. And if you want to chime in on this, if you want to leave a comment, if you want to leave any birthday wishes, they're appreciated but not necessary. Because like I mentioned from the gate, this video isn't for everybody. This video is for Daisy. So I'm dedicating today's video to Daisy Robinson, my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. Normally I would have done this on that little blue app, yet because I know the moment I go live, my phone is going to ring because other people, they're going to want to say something to me. They want to make sure that my faculties are in order, that I'm not depressed or sad, which is impossible on a day like today for me because I do suffer with depression. And in another video, I'll discuss exactly why. Over the past 5 years, I've been through hell and high water, and I'm proud to say I'm still here. I am still standing. And that says a lot for a person like me. My mom used to always tell me we're only as strong as the battles we face and we overcome. This is why God always gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. For the life of me, I never could understand that until I had no other choice but to be strong. I lost my mom in 2016. And the last conversation I had with my mom, she let me know she was not coming back home. And I told her, I rebuked it. I did everything. And I even told her, I was like, oh, Bird, that's what I call my mom. Oh, Bird, don't talk like that. You know, you're going to be home. You're going to do like you always do. You're going to go to that hospital. You're going to fuss. You're going to cuss. You're going to raise all kinds of sand, as she liked to say. Yet, you're going to do whatever it is, and you're going to get over whatever this is that got you down. And she looked at me with a look I've never seen on her face before. And it wasn't a defeatist look. It was a look of peace and calm with a little bit of sadness. And she was like, Robin, I'm not coming home. And I told her, I said, Mom, how about this? You tell me what you want for dinner. And when you come home, that's what I'll make sure to make. And she told me. And she was like, I still want you to make that dinner whether I come home or not, because I'm telling you, Robin, I'm not coming home. So, again, being the child that I am to the mother I have, I didn't listen. I didn't listen. I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to hear that. And it's time goes on, as time had gone on since her passing, certain things she had said to me in the past, they resonated. They made more sense now. She's told me things such as, you know, people don't always listen when you speak. And not because they're not caring about what you're saying, but they rather debate what you're saying, which comes to be a saying that I've said on many occasions. People listen, people speak, but don't listen. They listen to debate. And those are basically the same words she told me. And even on that last day that I seen her, she did wind up living 7 more days after that. I was basically listening to debate. I wasn't listening to what she was telling me. She knew what her circumstances were. Whether I wanted to accept them or not, she knew. And people who are at that stage in their life, they know. They know, and they'll tell people. And those who care that much about them, they don't want to accept that. They don't want to hear that. They want to believe the best. You know, you hear words and you'll understand them, but you're always trying to prepare for the best. So you always try to put a positive mindset on things. But sometimes having a positive mindset on things, meaning accepting 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 the words that are being said to you, accepting what is being told to you, accepting what is given to you. I can remember a conversation with my mom. My mother loved coffee. I'm having coffee today. I have coffee every day, but I'm having coffee today. My mom told me, I didn't worry too much about you. And not because I didn't care, but each child, they hold a certain thing about them where you know if you need to keep them close to you or if you need to just let them do them and be them and hope for the best. Earlier this week, probably like more towards the end of last week, me and my daughter, we were talking and she asked me a question and she was like, why did you think you had the relationship you had with your mom? And I told her the truth. I told her as what was told to me. Me and my mom, we did not get along well. It wasn't until like her last few years that we even gained a better understanding of each other as to where that acceptance came in at. And at the time she was telling me, it did hurt, but me being me, I just brushed it off. I brushed it off. So to answer my daughter, I told her, my mom told me she and I were like magnets. We were a lot alike. And anyone who knows anything about magnets, when you have the two likes, they they bump. They push against each other. They compel. They rebel against each other. And she's often told me that although we are so much alike, there were characteristics of me that she seen of her that she liked. It was the other characteristics of me that she seen of hers that she didn't like. And of course, those was the ones that I just blew with, you know. And this is why we always had that like magnet relationship. And not to go down the list of things that she said, because that's not what's important. But my daughter found that to be kind of disheartening. as I did when I heard it too. Well, when my mom told me that, like I said, I brushed it off. And I guess she's seen in me that I wasn't listening to understand again. I wasn't listening to understand, which is why as days passed and she seen me again, she called me back over. She was like, although we are a lot alike on certain things and the bad things that you do have about you, I know I have them too. We just did things differently with those bad parts, and this is why we could never really see eye to eye on certain things. That's why, in my mother's words, as she said, that's why when you were hell bent and headstrong about certain things, I did try to talk to you, but again, you weren't listening. You were listening, but you were listening to debate. And when you have children, you know these things will happen. And she was like, if I would tell you no, you would run so hard and so fast and so deep to prove me wrong. Now, on certain occasions, yes, you were right to do what you did and it worked out well for you. But there were times when I'm knowing, this is what my mom said now, when I'm knowing you're about to make a mistake, but if I tell you, Robin, don't do that, Robin, that's not going to work out well for you. I knew you were going to take that ball and you were going to run with it. So this is one of those times, or at that time, I had to let you, what we say today, bump that brick. A lot of times, my daughter has done the same thing. And as the years pass, as she's gotten older and she's had her own children, she too had to come back and say, Mom, I didn't quite understand. But you know what? I see what you were trying to say then. I understand a little better now. And she was woman enough to apologize. As to me, my pride went before me. And again, I cut off my nose in spite of my face. And I never told that woman, Mom, you were right. I should have listened. And we do this with our children, and we've done that as children, whether we want to accept it or not. Yeah, there's times where we should have listened to our mom on certain things, or our father, whichever one was in your life, that was giving you sound advice, but because you're so headstrong and stuck in your ways, you would not listen. And then once you became that person and you were put in that position where you now had to advise somebody and they didn't listen, you can basically hear your parents' voice in your ears. Me being a mom, I definitely had those moments. I regret not telling her, Mom, you were right. I'm sorry. I apologize for not listening. I apologize for not being that child who really needed to listen to their mom because certain things would have turned out way differently. I can remember a time when she was telling me about my husband. She told me this was when me and my husband finally split. I mean, for the last time, when I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm not doing this with you. Bye. Beat it. So long. Again, here's another day that she pulls me to the side and we sit down, and believe it or not, she she said, Robin, go make me a cup of coffee. My mom used to love to have a cup of coffee with an Entenmann's cake. The pound cake, the butter pound cake. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this cake. She loved this cake. Sometimes the one with the crumb topping on it, or sometimes not. I get her cup of coffee. She'll direct me to where her cakes is hidden at, because we too enjoyed her cakes at times. So I got her a slice of cake, so she was like, what you about to do? More or less, I wasn't about to do a damn thing. But the moment she says, hey, make me a cup of coffee, and then follows it up with, hey, what you about to do? I know she wants to talk about something. So I prepared myself after I made this coffee and I sat down next to her. She had this big, comfortable armchair she loved, and it reclined. And next to it, she had a little ottoman. Then she had all kinds of stuff, her pills on it, her dream books, definitely her play slips. And when I say play slips, I'm talking about her lottery ticket slips. So I'm thinking she's wanting me to fill out a lottery slip and go play the numbers. But of course, she wants to tell me about the dream that went along with it, and the whole spill. So I sat my happy ass down and I was prepared to listen to whatever the old bird had to talk about. She says, you know, I enjoyed your husband. Now, when she says enjoy, she's talking about, and they had the greatest relationship, believe it or not. I mean, they he's another one that enjoyed having a cup of coffee with her, sitting down eating snack cakes with her, and she would ask him to do something and he don't care what it was he was doing, he would stop, go get it done, come back, make sure it was to her liking, go make another pot of coffee for them to sit talk like two old people. So when she said she enjoyed him, that's what she was talking about. And what she told me, she was like, you know, I know you're a little upset about y'all's breakup and your split, but don't be. Don't be. Remember, the two of you made a vow before God. And what God don't play about is his children. You are one of his children. You are one of his children. You are a chosen child. You are a child of God. Now, whether he was when y'all were married, I don't know. That's not my business. I'm not even asking you. But you for sure, you're special. And in the book it tells you when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So when you and him went before that preacher, in front of family, friends, loved ones, and you took vows, God was listening. God was listening. God was watching. Just like everybody else who was sitting out there. They were listening. They were watching. How many times has a person said, oh God, if you just help me out of this, I promise you I won't do it again. Oh God, and he'll listen. He'll see you through it every time. Oh God, if you just help me out with this, I promise I won't mess up this. I promise. You know, you made a promise. Vows are promises. You promise to love, honor, obey through sickness and health, through richer for poorer, good times, bad times. Y'all spoke vows. Y'all didn't write your vows. Even if you wrote your vows, they're still wedding vows. See, today's people, first thing they'll tell you is, oh, it's just a piece of paper and some jewelry. They're right. Technically, it is. It's a piece of paper and you exchange jewelry. Now, to the common person, that may not mean a lot, but to God, that means something. Because you made a vow. Now, as being his child, he's expecting you to follow what you say. So when he made those vows and he spoke those words to you, he told God that he was going to do right by you. As you told God you would do right by him. Now, I don't know what part you played. Only you and God knows. And whatever that man knows, meaning my husband, whatever that man knows, understand this. If he broke that wedding vow, like that woman said in that movie, everything you even think about is going to go wrong. Everything you even think about is going to fail. So with that being said, Robin, don't you do evil for evil. Now, you don't always listen to me, but this time, if you never listened to me before, baby, don't do evil for evil. You will not prosper. God asks you to leave the battle in his hands. Now, again, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about religion. This isn't me talking about religion. This is me talking about a conversation that I had with my mom about something that was hurting me and I was going through. And she seen it in my posture, in my talk, in my demeanor. She seen that, which is what made her pull me over to her to have this conversation. And what she said was true. She continued to say, the same way he got that woman is the same way he's going to lose that woman. And you won't have to do a thing. Because the same hurt that he caused you, he's going to get that hurt back. It's going to hurt him more to lose you than it was to gain that woman. So, anytime any man hurts you, you don't do evil for evil. Let them go. If you was the right woman and you did what you were supposed to do, like within your marriage, and at that time that's what we were talking about. If you did whatever you were supposed to do right in that marriage, Robin, say less and do less. Let God fight that battle. Anything that you did that was wrong, you pray on it and you give it to God and let his will be done, not yours. And whatever it is God gives you as being a blessing, good or bad, you accept that and you move on. And until he does the same thing, he's going to continue to go through the pain, the heartache, the hurt that he gave you. That's law. This is why you don't fight over no dude. If you're going to fight for something, you fight for money, you fight for your rights, you fight for your respect. That's what you fight for. You fight for the sanctity of your family and your children. You fight for your life. But a man, you don't fight over, you don't lose sleep about. And the reason why is because as they're going through that delusion that this is the right person for them, he's going to look for things in that person that he's found in you, and it's not going to be there. And that's going to remind him every day of what he had with you. That's why he won't have no peace. That's why their relationship will not prosper. That's why that relationship will be destined to fail and will fail every time. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about him now. If you want him back, that's up to you. But again, I say you pray over that. Don't be no fool. You pray over that. And trust me, you won't have to look for it. God is going to bring it to you for you to see. Because you listen to me, I'm going to show you that I kept my word to you. And that's exactly what happened. She was right. I didn't do anything petty. I stopped doing petty stuff because at times I was doing a lot of extra shit on that little blue app. But once she spoke to me and I heard it, I cried my last tear about it. And I did my last petty thing on that blue app about it. And her words came true. They did. And much like she told me, the only reason why that woman even took up with him is because she saw you in him. Because again, what y'all had was through God. And even from that day to this one, Robin, people will tell him he looks nice. People will tell him he looks cute. But Robin, he never looked as good as he did on your wedding day. Never. And she wasn't wrong. He looked so good on his wedding day. People raved about how well he looked on that day. And she even said, I can guarantee you, from that day to this one, I promise you he never put on another suit. Unless he had to go to court, and even if he went to court, I doubt he put on a suit. Anything he did with her, I bet he won't have on a suit. The best that man ever looked, and this is from family, friends, anybody who knew him, they would tell him, the best I ever seen you look was on your wedding day, dude. Now she was like, now I've seen you get back in dresses. I've seen you get back gorgeous. And I was like, oh, look at my chair. Oh, look at that girl. Oh, Lord, please watch over her, is what she would say. And she was like, you can always tell who did wrong in a relationship, because they wear it. They wear it. You see it in their face. You see it in their manners. You see it in how they walk. You know who did really wrong in that relationship, especially anyone that was brought together by God. They might tell you they're okay. They might tell you they're fine. But you can see it. You know. Because they'll never look as good as the day that y'all said, I do. She wasn't wrong. To this day, I don't know that person to have worn a suit to anything. Maybe a funeral. I doubt it. And even then she said it. If he ever puts back on another suit, more or less he'll be casket ready. I don't hope that for him. God knows I hope he will put on another suit. But she wasn't wrong. He hadn't put on another suit since then. He hadn't had his look the same since then. And again, that was the best that man ever looked. So, of course, the illusion she fell in love with was the one that I put together. And like my mom did tell me on that day, she said as much. She says, you know, the devil stays busy. And he has minions. So, of course, anything that you would go through with this man publicly, whether y'all go to the store, y'all go out to eat, y'all go to the movies, or even when y'all are fussing and fighting, there's always someone watching. Just like when you got married, there's always someone watching. And they want what you got. They wanted it. They wanted what you had. And I'm pretty sure the same way the women was watching him, there were men watching you. Waiting for him to slip up. Waiting for him to make a mistake. Waiting for the two of y'all to separate. And she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong by a long shot. But see, the difference between he and I, even when he and I would fuss and fight and argue and go back and forth with each other, how many people, how many guys would come to me and say, you know, If I was your husband, I wouldn't treat you like that. I would do this and I would do that. And I would tell them, boy, bye. I am not interested. I'm not interested. I already have a husband. Oh, well, you wouldn't want for money. You're right, because I work. I'm not with that man because he makes money. I'm with that man because I love that man. You, on the other hand, not so much. And anything you have, he has too. I've never been one to jump from bed to bed. I've never been one who is envious of what another woman has as far as a man is concerned. Because, see, to be honest, I never wanted to even be married. I was content with us living a very long life together without saying I do. But it was something in him that made me want to say yes. And I did. Now, our marriage lasted 6 years, 7 maybe. And yes, we had ups and downs, we had ins and outs. And he was caught a few different times cheating, where I forgave him. But that last one is what hurt me to my soul, and I just could not get over that one. That's why we separated. And that's why her and I had that talk. She once told me, she says, you know, Robin, sometimes I really wish you would just hear me and not just listen. See, because when it came to your siblings, it wasn't that I favored one over the other. Certain children have characteristics that made you want to keep your eye on them. See, this way, when you decided to leave at the age of 16, I didn't worry about you because I knew you were going to be all right. You were that much like me where I had faith in the fact that you can do that. And you did. You proved me absolutely wrong. You went and got your GED. You went and got your driver's license. You went and got your first job. You continued to prosper after you left here. And to be honest, that's all a parent wants for their child. That's not to say the others could not have done it. Well, as you see what happened with the other ones. I didn't have that problem with you. That's why I didn't have to give you as much attention. The love was still there, but the cover that you were looking for, I didn't need to do that. And again, she told me that in my later years. I didn't understand that then, but I definitely understand it now. I understand it because I do it with certain children of mine. And this is why they're always quick to say that one is favored over the many. And they're not. It's just certain children you see in them. Something that lets you know that out of my sight, that child will be all right. I don't have to worry as much about them doing knucklehead things. Some other children, yes, you're going to have that worry about them doing knucklehead things. I'm very grateful she's seen that in me. I'm sorry I didn't know that then. I didn't know then what I know now. Now again, today isn't the day I figured that out. But she's not here for me to tell her. So this is my way of telling her, I get it, I understand. And I will not let you down. A friend of my Blue app, he said something that registered to me. He was like, a lot of people are going to take this as another year. When you don't learn from your mistakes, it will be another year. It'll be another year that you go through BS. It'll be another year you go through heartache. It'll be another year that you struggle. It will be, yes, just another year. Yet, if you're going to change and you're determined to change, then instead of it being another year, it can be a new year. A new year for you to grow, a new year for you to prosper, a new year for you to persevere, a new year for you to reach limits. It'll be a new year. 2025 will not be another year. It will not be another year for heartache. It will not be another year for pain. It will not be another year for struggle. It will not be another year for hurt. It will not be another year of so much negativity. Instead, it's going to be a new year. It's going to be a new year where I find love. It's already a new year where I'm starting a new job. It's already a new year for me to be in a new city and state. It is a new year that I'm in a new place. There are a lot of news because this is a new. It's a new year for my podcast to start. So it's a happy birthday for me too. Not in the same essence, but I'm birthing something new. Something my mom also told me, since I'm celebrating her birthday, and I definitely want to put this in here. She was telling me about harvesting. She says that when we pray, we're planting seeds. And we're coming up with new ideas, we're planting seeds. Well, in the book, it tells you that there's a season for everything. So for me, 24 was my year of planning. 24 was my year to see and survey the land, to work my land, and start planning. And I cried many tears in 24. And I remember her once telling me, every tear that you cry is watering your blessing. You can learn from those tears if you choose to. And those tears will not just be tears of sorrow, they will become tears of joy. They'll become tears of prosperity. There will be the tears of your blessings. Now understand, in the book, it tells you that there's a threshing floor. So anything that you're planning, anything that you're working on, because the devil is always busy, you'll see weeds. You're going to see weeds in everything that you plant, everything that you work on, everything that you do. Don't pull those seeds. Don't pull those weeds, excuse me. Don't pull those weeds. Let the weeds grow with what you're harvesting, with what you're growing. Don't pull those weeds. Because when that harvest comes and it's time to harvest, you cut all of that down and it goes on your threshing floor. Anyone who knows about the book, it explains this threshing floor. The threshing floor is where you lay everything out. You lay your crops out with the weeds, and that's where you separate it. So, towards the end of 24, I started separating things because 25 is my harvesting year. It's my harvesting season. Things that I planted, things that I thought about, things that I've been working on are now, they're coming to harvest now. Like I said, I'm no longer in that old state and city where I was sad and depressed. I'm in a new place now. I've harvested a new city and state. I've harvested a new home. I've harvested a new job. See, in 24, I was planting all of those things. I was already determined I wasn't going to keep staying in this same place. I wasn't going to keep dealing with these same people. I wasn't going to keep recycling men and relationships, friendships. I was done with that. Well, 25, I'm not there anymore. Now I get to see new men. Now I start, well, am working a new job. I'm in a new home. And now I'm happy. A little sad, of course, because on a day like today being my mom's birthday, I would I would visit her at her gravesite, and next to her gravesite is my son. So I would definitely sit there. I would eat with them. I would clean their gravesite because these people don't keep up the graves. And I would put their flowers down. I know they can't smell them or enjoy them, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to put them down. I would put them things down. I would even go live and let people know this is what's going on. This is what I'm doing. Although I can't do that anymore, maybe that's best too. Maybe that too will help me get over some of the depression that I was going through. Who knows? What I do know is I have to act. ACT. Action creates transgressions. Actions create, oh fuck, transformation. Yes, as you see, I got my little board behind me. So not transgressions, no. Actions create transformation. And basically, I'm in a state of act right now. As you see over my shoulder, I'm starting to now use my whiteboard, which again, I harvested from 24 but didn't use. I was supposed to use that board for something else, but now that board has a new meaning. Now that board is my inspiration. I'm going to start writing things on that board that has a meaning. I'm going to create a new me. And I'm taking action to create this new me because it's important for my growth and my development. It's important for me, not for anyone else, but for little old me. And even at the time of this video while it's being made, all hell is breaking out. But because I know it's not the time to say, why me? But it's really the time for me to say, what am I supposed to learn from this? I know there's something for me to learn from this. And this is where I got to start fixing my mindset. This is how I'm going to start recovering from certain things that would normally drop me, that would normally trigger me. Not why me again, not oh my God, I can't catch a break. Not why. If I'm going to ask why, I need to find out why is this happening? Is this happening to teach me something? Is there something for me to learn from it? What am I supposed to get from this? What am I supposed to learn from this? My aunt she's one of the most positive people that I know. And even she has told me, you got to find the brighter side to things, sweetheart. It's always darkest before the dawn. The reason why is because you got to come through something to get to something. And that light at the end of the tunnel, that's where you're going. You're not supposed to stay in the tunnel, sweetheart. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. and you don't let nothing and no one come in between what you're trying to accomplish, where you're trying to get to. You let go and you let God and you keep going. Prayer works, but God wants you to put some actions to those prayers. And when he see you move and you're moving in the right direction, he's going to take that step with you in order to make sure that these things happen. And she was not wrong. My mom was not wrong. I'm learning. It's taking me a long time. When you're a creature of habit, when you've been doing things for so many years, certain habits are very hard to break. The youth don't understand that because they think they have forever. At 23, at 32, I thought I also had forever. But forever becomes very short when you don't know where the ending is. That's why you have to live for today and not for tomorrow. Anxiety happens because we're fearful about something that might happen in the future. Depression comes in when you start regretting your past, when you start looking for something from your past that you will not be able to fix. And a lot of times, I tend to get stuck in between those two places. Not anymore. I have a blueprint now. I have something I'm working on now. I have dreams. I have plans. And I'm going to work those plans. I'm going to make that happen. If that means I have to cut off certain families, certain friends, I've already let go of certain places. Those dreams are going to happen for me. They're not going to be dreams anymore. They're going to become reality. And I'm not going to stress about them. I'm going to work them until they become my reality. My coffee's getting cold and my time is getting short. So I want to thank you and say again, happy birthday, Mom. I thank you for the present that you gave me, not just the life, but your words of wisdom. I'm sorry I didn't understand the gift then, but I definitely unwrap it now, and I thank you for it. This is again Coffee's Over Conversation. No, Conversations Over Coffee, excuse me. And mind you, this was a one-take deal. The first one, I did several takes. This one, I'm leaving the mistakes. I'm not redoing this. I'm leaving it as is, because this time, it came from the heart, not the head. My mom also once told me, don't take your heart where your head can't follow. If they can't go together, then you shouldn't be there. And be careful where your heart leads you. If your mind's telling you no, don't go. She wasn't wrong. And I love her for it. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm going to go make me another cup of coffee, and instead of having that Entenmann's cake, I'm going to have a cheese Danish, dear. She couldn't do much dairy. While I still can, though, I'm going to enjoy that dairy. And I pray for all that's going on around me. And I ask that you pray too. You don't have to know what's going on for you to pray for a person. If a person tells you they need prayer, pray for them. Now, that's all the religion I got for today. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about religion, but this is her day. This is my mom's birthday. Now, this may not be posted on her birthday, but this is dedicated to that woman. That Capricorn gave me a lot of worries. See that ding? That's true. But you know what? I wouldn't trade my years for salt. Thank you for joining me. Conversations over coffee with Robin S. Tune in on my next video. Again, as always, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Continue watching and helping this channel grow and prosper. Y'all have a good one now.